A lion doesn't need to roar to assert its power. It only needs to look. A dangerous man is the same. He doesn't need violence, doesn't need to shout, and doesn't need to show off. He only needs to exist, with calmness, sharp perception, and subtle actions that unsettle others. Not because he is a threat, but because he is no longer someone who can be easily controlled. In a world that favors appearance over essence, where men are taught to be nice, agreeable, and well-behaved, a man who holds inner strength, who knows who he is, what he wants, and moves in silence, becomes something unsettling to those who wish to control him. That is why some behaviors, though they may seem simple, when adopted by a man, can make others feel uneasy, even fearful. Not because he intends to intimidate, but because he's no longer easy to manipulate. And that alone is enough. If you often feel disrespected, manipulated, or constantly pressured to save face in order to please others, perhaps it's time to reflect on these 4 behaviors. Things that may seem small, but once you master them, the world will no longer see you the same way. 4 behaviors that make you seem dangerous instantly. Behavior number 1, changing how people perceive you. A truly formidable man is not someone who's always intimidating. Rather, it's someone who used to be weak, used to be compliant, and then suddenly grows silent and changes. That's what unsettles others. Were you once the easygoing one? The one who helped everyone unconditionally? The guy who always nodded in meetings? Try saying no just once. Decline a drink just once. Stay silent when someone mocks you just once. That single moment can be enough to make others feel that something has shifted and they're no longer sure how to deal with you. It's the change in how you respond, from accommodating to setting boundaries, from pleasing to taking control. That is the turning point. Seneca once wrote, "When we change ourselves, we force those around us to adjust the way they see us." And it's true. When you step out of your old role, whether as the nice guy or the quiet younger brother, people around you are forced to pause, step back, and redefine who you are. That's the beginning of personal power. Behavior number 2, clearly expressing what you think. A dangerous man is someone who can articulate his thoughts with clarity, not because he talks a lot, but because every word he says carries weight. People in power always fear those who wield language as a weapon, because they cannot manipulate someone who is not vague. This is the very reason Andrew Tate was silenced. Not because of his kickboxing skills or his wealth, but because he was a man who could speak, and his ideas challenged the current trajectory of society. The same goes for Jordan Peterson. Despite being constantly attacked, he remains firm in his stance and argues with clarity. People like that are hard to trap because they don't let others put words in their mouth, and that's a skill very few men possess. The ability to communicate coherently, without fear, without losing focus. When you can say what you think clearly, logically, and without hesitation, you create an invisible boundary that others find hard to cross. Behavior number 3, refusing to perform according to others' expectations. You were probably taught to be friendly, polite, good at communication, and enthusiastic with everyone around you. Try just once to walk into a room and not smile. Don't engage in small talk. Don't force friendliness. Don't ask, "What time is it?" just to break the silence. Just sit down, stay silent, observe. Keep your posture upright, your gaze calm, not rude but not overly eager either. That alone makes you different. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Be silent when you can. Let your actions speak for you. People won't know what you're thinking. They won't know how you're judging them, and that uncertainty makes them cautious." You don't need to fake friendliness. You don't need to tell a joke. You're no longer performing, and when you stop performing to please others, you unsettle those who are used to controlling people through expectation. Behavior number 4, staying hidden. Most people overshare their lives on Facebook, on Instagram, even on LinkedIn. They broadcast what they're doing, thinking, buying, or learning, as if every moment requires validation from others. But you are different. You begin to disappear, not because you're weak, but because you've understood one thing. True power comes from silence. When others don't know what you're doing, they can't sabotage it. They can't compare. They can't plan to stop you. You vanish from the radar, and one day you reappear with results. Google, Facebook, and major corporations use the very information you share to sell you back the things you think you want. They control you through the data you willingly give away. But when you stop sharing, you start to take back control. Think of a UFC champion. He's at the top. Everyone wants to dethrone him. Meanwhile, the one who's about to defeat him is quietly training, studying, preparing each strike. No one notices him, but when he shows up, the champion has no time to react. Who do you want to be? The man sitting on the throne, or the one perfecting his punches in the dark? Conclusion: become a man who can't be easily defined. The secret isn't about becoming someone scary, it's about becoming someone others can't easily figure out. A man who, when he walks into a room, makes others adjust their behavior, not because he's aggressive, but because he knows exactly who he is. You shift people's perception of you by changing how you act. You no longer say yes to everything. You no longer smile when you don't feel like it. You say what you think, without hesitation, and you know how to disappear to work in silence until the results speak for themselves. A man like that doesn't need to show off, but everyone knows he's not someone to mess with. If you've made it this far, maybe you feel it's time to change, not to become someone else, but to return to yourself, a version that is strong, sharp, and not easily defined. And if you found this message valuable, share it with another man who's also searching for his way back to who he truly is.